Hello everyone, and welcome to this video and to this meditation practice. Before I say a few words about the actual meditation practice for today, which will be concentrating on the cultivation of resilience, I would like to say a few more words first about the general situation that it is impacting all of us in many different ways and at different levels. First, let me say that I hope that this video finds you well, because I'm very aware, like all of you who are watching this video, participating in this practice, that there is a lot of suffering going on at the moment. The coronavirus pandemic is still with us. It has impacted the lives of hundreds of thousands of people, now actually in the millions throughout the world. Over, I can't remember how many, over a million or so in our country alone. Unfortunate loss of over 100,000 people. So the pain is real, the suffering is real, and I really want to extend my empathy and compassion and support to all of you who right now watching this video are in a situation of suffering, and who are experiencing the impact of the many different ramifications of this pandemic. There is the health aspect. Many have been affected by this virus in a very significant way. Many have experienced loss and the emotional impact of that. And then there is the economic dimension that is also impacting the life of so many. So there is a sense of loss, there is a sense of uncertainty, a sense of fear, and of course that creates a certain natural response, which is that of perhaps experiencing more isolation and anxiety and depression and other symptoms that are very much natural responses to these very severe radical changes in our lifestyles and the way we have been even relating to one another, not to mention again our personal lives, our health, our well-being, that of our family, of our friends, of our neighbors, of our communities. And speaking of that, there is now this other added dimension to what has been happening recently, and I'm referring to what has happened over the last 2 weeks since the tragic death, appalling, very difficult to even just watch, not to mention to actually try to connect and empathize with. And I'm referring to the tragic, horrific death of Mr. George Floyd. And since then there has been a rightful uproar for racial justice, for the end of police brutality, for the movement toward a much greater sense of equality amongst all of us. Many of our brothers and sisters, black, indigenous, people of color, are suffering, and we stand with them. This meditation practice today, focusing on resilience, it is also a way of dedicating and supporting this incredibly important movement toward racial equality and the end of injustice and the end of levels of brutality that have impacted communities for not just decades but hundreds of years. So it is time now to make a difference. It's time to say now, it's time now to say enough. It's now time to take some action, and in some way I hope that this meditation practice, it is also a form of action. First within ourselves, in terms of taking care of ourselves so we can be available in taking appropriate action, but also as a way of sharing with others our sense of compassion and empathy, focusing on our own resilience. And now I'm going to say a few words about this practice. Is one of the most important things that we can do while in crisis, whether it is because of the pandemic and its ramifications or the crisis of racial injustice. It is very, very important that as we continue to take action and as we continue to mitigate these very strange forces and so on, that we find within ourselves ways to stay healthy and stay strong and be able to cope with these adversities with more and more resilience. And that is the nature of resilience, the innate capacity within all of us to bounce back, to return to a state of balance after having faced an adversity. In meditation, we have a great opportunity of combining these two approaches. One, cultivation of resilience with the actual practice of meditation. Why and how? Well, first, why? Because in meditation practice, as you probably have experienced and may be experiencing for the first time today, we have the opportunity of entering in a state of awareness that is slightly different than that of our everyday state of existence. This is not to say that meditation is a different state of consciousness or state of existence. I'm just saying this because in meditation we have the opportunity to take a look at our life from a slightly different perspective, and that is a perspective of full awareness and full attention. And when we do so without much distraction and full presence, we have the opportunity to enhance existing qualities, bring upon states that perhaps have been weakened, right, by habits, by being mindless, by being distracted, and bring them to a much greater level of strength and presence in our life. So in this case, and this is more about the how, the meditation practice that we'll be doing today is one that can be considered of increasing a natural capacity. So this will be a type of practice that is in a sense considered a constructive practice. Constructive in a sense that we take a particular quality, in this case our own resilience, and we build it up, we strengthen it while in a state of meditation. I'd like to focus in particular on resilience with this practice today. There will be others to follow. Specifically because during periods of crisis, again, this is one of the qualities that we can nourish within ourselves every single day, and as you will see in this practice, even in just a few moments, and extending that in few minutes of practice, the benefit can be really, really powerful. So with that said, I hope you find this meditation practice supportive to you. And before we start, let's take a moment to reset and to find your comfortable seat, and we'll get started in just a moment. Now that you have found your seat, make sure that you are comfortable and stable. And if you're comfortable, close your eyes, do so. Otherwise, just lower your gaze so that there's less visual distraction. And begin bringing full attention to yourselves, putting everything that has happened in the day on hold for now. And for the next few moments, let's bring attention to our body. Notice the sensation you're experiencing in the body right now. Notice them with openness, with a sense of kindness. And with that, begin noticing your breath. As you can tell, the breath and the body are so intimately connected. And for the first part of this practice, we'll be focusing on the importance of breath. to support meditation and also to help increase our resilience. This breath, this breathing experience of ours happens thousands of times a day, the vast majority of which without any awareness of it. Now, in this practice, let's change that. Let's bring our full awareness to this experience that sustains us moment to moment, the most direct link to life itself. So notice your breath. Notice your in-breath. And notice your out-breath. And see if it's possible to make this experience of breathing, as well as other few aspects that I will get us into, as the primary and most central experience to which to pay attention. As you obviously can tell, the breath has two primary components, the in-breath and the out-breath. As you pay attention to the entire breath cycle, I would like for you to begin emphasizing the experience of breathing out, the exhalation, the out-breath. Notice how you breathe out. Notice the rhythm of your breath, the quality of your breath. Without changing the breath in any way, without, for now, manipulating the breath, just following it as it is. The out-breath especially has a particular quality that supports our well-being, and that quality is that neurologically and biologically the out-breath activates parts of our nervous system that allow for relaxation, for release of tension. The out-breath activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which is responsible for bringing the body back to a state of balance, following, of course, the in-breath, which activates the sympathetic nervous system, which is more of a accelerator, part of the breath that enhances and gives us energy, while the out-breath, the release breath, is the part of the breath that calms us down. And it does so because indeed it touches these very important aspects of our neurology and physiology. By activating more consciously more mindfully, intentionally, our parasympathetic system with the attention to the out-breath, we help our nervous system and our entire body-mind to relax and to build the necessary resources to stay strong, healthy, and live in balance. So consider the fact that every time you breathe in, there is more than just the breath coming in. And that especially every time you breathe out, there is more than just breathing out. There is an opportunity to help our body-mind system to return to balance, to expand well-being, to expand and cultivate resilience, which helps us cope with all the difficulties and adversities of life, such as the ones that we are all facing these days. So with the attention on the out-breath, let's continue this practice by moving into this second phase of this meditation. As you notice your out-breath, with each out-breath, relax your body as much as you can. With each out-breath, release tension, whatever you find it in your body at the moment. So take a few moments to feel your body, head to toe. And then together, with each out-breath, let's release any tension, any tightness that you may find around your face, forehead, your jaws, your entire head. With the next out-breath, release tension and increase relaxation from the base of the neck down to your shoulders and the upper back, an area where we usually tend to hold a lot of tension and tightness, the experience of stress in the body. In many of us remains stored and stuck in these parts of the body, head, neck, shoulders. So with the next breath, release, let go. With the next breath, release any tension that may be forming around your shoulders, down to your arms, all the way down to your hands and fingertips. Then with the next breath or two, descend from the shoulders all along the back, down to your tailbone, left side of the back, right side of the back, along the spine, all the way down to your lower back, down to your tailbone. With the next out-breath or two, notice if there is any tension at the bottom of your chin, along your neck, your throat area, and then down from your collarbones to your chest, rib cage, down into the belly, all the way down to the very low part of the lower belly, below the belly button, the navel. And let's pause here for a moment and see if here it is possible to release tension in your abdomen. And notice what happens if you release the belly and the breath softens and deepens, so that we begin to breathe with the belly. Yes, we are breathing with the lungs, but we get that nice soothing experience of belly breath, the belly expanding with the in-breath, and releasing with the out-breath. And that release, that letting go, is that deep soothing sensation that provides and sends a signal to the entire system to relax. So allow yourselves to breathe softly, smoothly, and doing so with the belly, from the belly. And then let's move lower into the body, through your legs all the way down, your knees, lower leg, down to your feet. Releasing any tension, any stress that you find along the way. Now take a few breaths, a few moments to breathe with the whole body. Breathing in and smoothly, slowly breathing out. Allowing the entire body to relax and to let go of tension, to let go of stress. Now let's move into the next phase of this meditation practice, where we're focusing even more specifically on the out-breath. Let's take first the entire breath cycle as a whole. And as you begin the next breath cycle, see if you can hold a count of 4 for your in-breath. Breathing in, holding a count of 4 in your mind. After that, a natural pause, and then follows the out-breath, which you are going to intentionally extend beyond a count of 4 to a count of 6. So let's practice together. Breathing in at a count of 4. Holding. Breathing out with a count of 6. Pause, and then the next breath. Continue with this more intentional rhythm. Breathing in at the count of 4, holding the breath, and then exhaling and a count of 6. And as you do so, begin noticing what feels different by extending the out-breath and putting emphasis on the out-breath. We put more emphasis on the activation of the parasympathetic system. As we breathe out, slowly and slightly longer than our in-breath, we help our system relax even more, slowing down our rate just a little bit more, lowering blood pressure a little bit more, and with that comes the release of different hormones that help the body relax. This is one of the ways in which we build resilience, reducing stress and emphasizing these natural qualities within our nervous system, our body, our mind, that help us cope and recover, return, bounce back, simply because there is less stress in the body, less agitation in the mind. And if you find in this type of breathing, 4 counts breathing in, a pause, and then 6 counts to breathe out, please continue. And then if you like to, we can extend this practice to the next level, where we'll be breathing in with a count of 4, holding the breath for the count of 4, and then slowly breathing out for the count of 6, and eventually arriving to a count of 8. So to repeat, we breathe in, counting to 4. We hold the breath, counting to 4. We breathe out, counting to 6. And we'll repeat the cycle again. Breathing in, holding, breathing out. And continue repeating the cycle. Breathing in with a count of 4. Holding the breath to the count of 4. And extending the breath to a count of 6 to 8. Take a few moments to practice on your own. I would like to add just one more stage to this breath awareness practice, this resilience practice, focusing on the out breath. by guiding you to constrict the throat just a little bit with your out breath, so to make a wave-like sound as the breath exits the body. The count remains the same. 4 counts breathing in, holding for 4 counts, and then exhaling for up to 8 counts. With the difference in our out breath will sound a little bit more like this. Breathe in, hold, breathe out. Continue this cycle of breathing with the emphasis on the out breath, extending it up to 4 counts with the wave-like, ocean-like sound that emanates from your body. And let both the breath and the sound soothe you, continue to relax you, and continue to provide you with the nourishment, the sustenance, the benefit that arise from this very natural activity that takes place in our body so many times. Now with the added benefit of your full attention and full awareness. All in the benefit and for the benefit of our well-being, increasing and nourishing resilience, our innate quality that allows us to come back, bounce back from adversities. And allow yourselves to experience through the ocean wave sound of release the increase in this inner strength, physical, mental, emotional, psychological, spiritual, to help us face these challenging times, to help us stay calm, attentive, present, aware, and also kind, compassionate, empathic toward others, and of course toward ourselves. Nourishing and cultivating our own resilience will also help nourish and cultivate the resilience of others, because we can be there for them, because we can be here for ourselves, and because through this level of awareness we can feel more connected to ourselves and to each other. to give ourselves all the care, love, attention, compassion that we need right now, and then to have enough to provide also to those around us who are also facing difficulties and challenges. Continue to breathe in and breathe out with this deeper sense of awareness of what is possible within ourselves, our body-mind. Continue to breathe in and breathe out with the awareness that in every moment in which you give this level of care, attention, and compassion to yourselves, you are continuing to nourish your well-being. And this well-being, it is not just for you, but for the benefit and the support of others as well. We are all in this together. Let's make it so that this is not just a sentence or a thought, but also an action of kindness, of compassion, of love and care. May this practice of resilience support you, all those around you, the community you live in, family and friends. And this practice be a benefit to anyone participating in this moment. I hope you found this practice helpful and supportive, and I thank you very much for your presence and participation. If you have found the practice helpful and supportive, please feel free to share this video with anyone who may benefit from it. As I mentioned, we are all in this together, and there is suffering that is happening in many different levels for many of us. And your generosity in sharing this video with anyone who is in need will be another way of showing that you care and that you would like to be there and help and support them. I do thank you for being here and for practicing with me and for cultivating your resilience. Your resilience will help my resilience, our resilience. Your practice will help the well-being not just of yourselves, but also that of so many of us, including me. So thank you so much again for your participation. Be well, and may you continue to be resilient.